Hi. So I've got a buddy and we were chatting a couple days ago and he was talking about how he liked on the YouTube podcast. Here we go. He liked how on the podcast that I was on, I was talking about this devotional practice of, handing things over to God. I don't know exactly how I phrased it or how deep into it I went, but that really has been a game changer to me, is making this disciplined practice in calling it a devotional practice, like really making it a heart-centered practice to bring God into my life and to hand things over to God, to sort of surrender things over to God, to be worked out in their highest. And he was like, do you have something? I'm looking for something that's like a bit more prescriptive, like do this every day. And the first thing that popped into my head was talk to God every day. And then I immediately second guessed it because I was like, that might not resonate with everybody. And then I just realized that okay, he was asking me what my sort of prescriptive thing would be. So what worked for me was talking to God every day. But that was actually, when I look back on how this unfolded, that was actually sort of the final step. I remember, so here's what I'm going to say. This is important. This was important for me. Whether or not it's important for you, I don't know. But if you're expressing an interest and a desire to work with your higher power, whatever you call it, that probably likely means that there's already been sort of a taste of it. You've tapped into it. You've felt it before. You know that this is like a possibility, or it's at least intellectually you're aware that this is a possibility. And what really started it for me was, for the first few years of my awakening, I had not landed on the word that I wanted to use for God, or for this force that I was really feeling and learning about too, and just beginning to recognize and remember. And I would use universe, spirit, source. But when I was speaking, and oftentimes even when I was just thinking or speaking to myself, I would use one of those words and quickly follow it up with, or whatever you want to call it, or, I think I was really concerned with having it right. I'm not really sure, but all I know is that none of those words for me were landing quite right. They didn't feel aligned with whatever this sort of experience was that I was having. But I kind of knew that I was opposed to using the word God, just because of what it had meant to me for so much of my life. And so I was really trying to find a way around that. I would kind of dabble with it, but still there was like some bitterness there, until I remember being on a therapy call. And she is more than your typical therapist. She has been my spiritual guide through all of this. And so she knew where I was landing. Like, she and I would use the word spirit on calls. And she was fine with that. She never said anything about it. It was all about, what I was comfortable with. And I just remember there was a session, I couldn't even tell you what I was talking about, but in a place where I would typically have said spirit or source or whatever, I said the word God. And it was so jarring as it came out of me that I don't even think I finished my thought. And immediately my eyes welled with tears, and it was just overflow. So she was like, okay, wait, what's happening? And it was just I don't know, God is happening. That just felt big. It didn't feel like God was telling me to use the word God. It just felt like there was something almost vibrationally resonant about that word that was just yes, that is the thing that I am talking about. you know, that those 3 letters for me carried this punch. And from that moment on, I have used the word God. And of course, when I'm talking to other people, I can still do the whole like God or whatever, but really not so much anymore. And it's been such an important part of my journey. And so, and that honestly, like things changed drastically after that. It was almost like when I made that decision of like, what am I going to call you? And it felt so powerful in my body. Like everything changed after that. And it was then that I began to dabble with this idea of, can I have a personal relationship with this thing? I feel like I can. I feel like I can, and I feel like I want it, and I feel like it'd be really helpful. And I was still like dealing with a ton of anxiety and depression and things like that at this time. I was still in kind of a dark spot. And so what I did was I set an intention, because I was just like, this is what I want. I want a personal relationship with God. I don't know what that means or what it looks like or how you even do it, but I want it. And so I want you, God, to do all of the work of it that you can. I mean, take it all. Take all of the work of making this happen, because I don't know what it is. So do all the work. And then whatever little bit you need from me, I want to be so clearly guided to these things that I just can't even miss it. And I just knew, this is what I want. This is what I want. And I can't even tell you what I did. I know that might not be helpful, but I just took whatever sort of presented itself in the present moment, whatever felt good. And what really started feeling good was talking to God. Just bringing God in to my everyday bullshit and just talking to God. And how it started was, I tend to have anxiety when I wake up in the morning, like before my eyes are even open. This sort of like internal, like, oh shit, we're here again. Like, okay, here we go again, starts to come up. And a little bit of that, actually a lot of that is sort of like residue that's left over from when I was really in a dark time. Because honestly, I'm doing great, but there's like this, before you're fully awake and come online, there's like this old memory of like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. And so I still have that. Like I had it today. I have it on a regular basis, and it can make it really hard to get out of bed and get going on like a good foot. I kind of get, every morning is just this like, fuck. And so, and I don't want that to sort of be the flavor for my whole day. And so it just came to my mind. It's like, what if before I go into this spiral, I just talk to God? Literally, before my eyes are even open, I'll just be lying there and I'll feel the anxiety and I'll just go, hi. Hi. Yeah, okay, here we are. Hi, good morning. Good morning. And like, I am not kidding. The mood shift, I'll roll my eyes and laugh at me and talk to God and be like, ugh, I was doing it again. Isn't that funny? And it's just like, holy shit. I'm not saying I go on to have like rainbows and unicorns day, but like something is happening, a shift is happening. And so when, I think I got a little bit off topic, but basically when my friend asked me, give me something to do every day, my very first thought was talk to God every day. My very first thought was talk to God every day. My second thought was, hey, you don't have to use the word God, but if you're playing around with the idea of different words, like test them out, because the energy of or whatever, this like uncertainty around the name that you are going to give, of the vibrational sound, like words are so important. This name that you're going to give to this thing that you want to like have this devotional practice of handing your life over to and like working in this co-creation with, like, that energy of, or whatever you want to call it, doesn't fit. It doesn't fit. It does not pack the punch. I'm telling you, this thing packs a punch. So you don't have to pick it overnight. I would suggest picking something. Really, something like, let it land in your body. Try different things out. Let it change. Let it morph. Make up your mind and then change it. Let it reveal itself to you. I was surprised that the word God revealed itself to me, but I love it. Also, by the way, one syllable. This is universe bullshit. One syllable. God. Mine works for me. Doesn't have to be for you. But I would suggest finding something. Setting the intention. Staying open. Talking to it every day. Just calling it in to all the little corners of your life, even the mundane bullshit. And pick a name. Pick a name. That might rub people the wrong way. I'm not sure, but it feels important to sort of pick something that feels good in your body and stay with it, and where you don't feel the need to explain or apologize for your choice. I think, yeah, that's it. Those three things. That's what I would say. That's my long-winded answer to this question. Thanks for listening. Bye.